Hello, listeners, and welcome to our very first episode of the Dead Poet Society After Dark Film Society. We'll just call it the After Dark Film Society for short. Um, to kind of, introduce what we're doing here. The four of us met on Tumblr and on Discord um, via our love of the movie Dead Poet Society. And in this podcast, this venture, we are watching a bunch of movies that the actors in Dead Poet Society have also been in. So that's kind of our niche is these actors and their filmographies. And some of these movies are, really good and they're classics, and some of them are just god awful, but we will have an array of movies to talk about. But to actually introduce ourselves individually, I'm Sunny.
I'm Ashley.
B. I'm Chloe.
All right. So today we've kind of tried to put themes to the movies that we want to talk about, and we're really starting off with two bangers for this episode. And when I say banger, I mean banger. So I'm gonna start off talking about the movie Threesome. Which is just a great starting point, I feel.
Oh boy.
This movie stars Josh Charles, who is our Knox Overstreet. Came out in 1994. It is allegedly a true story of the director's own experience, which I find unlikely, but I can't prove it one way or another. And this is actually the second time we're seeing Josh Charles and Lara Flynn Boyle act together, because Lara Flynn was in a Dead Poet Society, but all of her scenes got cut, which is very sad because she looked like she was having a good time. But Threesome holds a very special place in our Discord server because this was the first movie we all watched together. And I feel responsible for that because I think I talked about how insane this movie was, and I kind of needed to scream about it with other people, but it's accidentally become kind of the like marker for how weird a movie can be. Like, is it weirder or less weird than Threesome from 1994? Um, but to kind of get into what this movie is about, I'm going to kind of go through parts of the plot and stop when we have something to say. I do recommend watching this movie on your own. I guess that's the first thing I can say is I do think that this movie is so goofy that it's enjoyable.
Yeah, it's once you lean into the absurdity, it's kind of a good time.
It kind of has a charm to it. I don't know if it is on purpose, but it has this, outlandish charm to it, that is really funny when you, like, suspend your disbelief. But basically, this movie is about three people. It's about Josh Charles, it's about Steve Baldwin, and it's about Lara Flynn Boyle. And the three of them are put into a dorm together. Lara Flynn Boyle, her character's name is Alex. She is accidentally put into a man's dorm because of her name, and they can't move her out of it. And so the three of them are living together, and it just gets awkward really quickly, because Lara Flynn Boyle is in love with Josh Charles, whose character's name is Eddie. Um, Ashley, can you tell us about the scene in the library, please?
Oh, goodness. So, basically, Alex, the girl, is in love with Josh, but Josh's character is gay and kinda, like, secretly gay, like, he's not fully out right now.
Mhm.
So she does not know this, and he's reading her what is he reading her? A script or something? Or is it Shakespeare?
Some kind of literary, high
Yeah,
intellectual, big
something.
words.
And he's reading out loud to her in this library, and she's, like, on the table getting turned on by him reading to her, and he's not touching her, nothing, he's just continuing to read, and she's, like, writhing around on this table, and actually, like, finishes in the library just from him reading this book out loud to her, which is just the most uncomfortable thing to watch, but then also at the same time, it's, like, funny, like, what am I watching?
It's incredibly silly. 'Cause it isn't just like, oh, he uses big words, like he's into literature and and like that's cool and mysterious and I find that really sexy. It's not just like that. It is like she's having sex with his voice.
Yeah.
It is that's kind of the first part of the movie where you realize like this is not set in reality. Um, and after that, Eddie Eddie goes to Stu, played by Steve Baldwin, and tells him what happens. And Stu is kind of your stereotypical, and not like jock. He's not like a football player. I don't really know how to describe him.
He's, like,
He's
burnt out a little bit, like, he don't care.
yeah, yeah. He's very he kind of just likes women and he wants to fuck all the time. He's kind of an airhead, um, but he's like a good dude. He has a good heart. Um, and he's like he can't believe that Eddie like wouldn't want to have sex with Alex. Um, and so the three of them kind of figure out that they're like she wants to be with Eddie and Stu wants to be with Alex. And to perfectly complete the triangle, um, Eddie eventually tells Alex that he's not interested in her because he's gay and he's in the closet. And, you know, I will say, and we've talked a lot about this, the portrayal of a gay man in this movie. I mean, in 1994, by Josh Charles, who's probably the straightest person I could come up with. Um, it is kind of spellbinding that it is not wildly offensive or even stereotypical that the main character who's gay, B, could you talk about this? I think you would have like a better way of wording it than I could.
Such as, like, how it could be very offensive? Or, like, what do you want me to talk about?
Like, when we're talking about his portrayal of it,
Yeah.
and this time of cinema, that this is just kind of at the tail end of the AIDS crisis.
Yeah.
This is kind of, don't ask, don't tell era. Like the world, especially in America, is not really looking fondly on gay people, and yet in this movie, he is treated like a normal person,
I feel
which is
like
what, yeah.
I feel like they handled it a lot better than other movies have and than they could have. But
For the bar being on the floor,
the bar is
they
so
handled it very
full,
well.
like in the sense of I find a lot of older movies tend to make gay people as like the butt of the joke, and it's like a whole thing, like a facet of them is oh haha they're the gay character. But I did feel like they did an actually pretty decent job at making his character multifaceted in the sense that he is other things other than being gay, and him being gay isn't treated as like the big punchline. It's more like a oh yeah, and by the way, that's a thing. So I feel like honestly, all things considered, not a bad way of handling it. Even though just the entire movie is so absurd, they could have gone so far with it, but they didn't.
Yeah, I think also, like, to the point that they are, they could have made him being gay the butt of the joke, but they're actually just like, oh yeah, he's gay, but it's also not swept under the rug. Like, he does talk about being attracted to men, and it isn't like a weird, like predatory thing. Like,
Which is really nice because
yeah,
a lot of times if they're like they don't make being gay like the punchline, it's either that or it portrayed as like a predator or like a
yeah,
creepy kind of ew, like he's
yeah.
gay, that's gross. So I feel like all things considered, not a
Yeah,
bad.
and even though he spends most of the movie pining after Stu, who, repeatedly we hear is heterosexual, even though he is attracted to him, it's never in like a I could make you gay kind of thing. It's always just I'm attracted to you, and there is a point where he talks about thinking Stu could be in the closet. We'll get to that.
Yeah,
It's kind of played off as kind of a silly idea for him to have, um, to give the movie credit. Um, but to kind of keep going, they so they fail at not having sex with each other, and um, Eddie and Alex eventually hook up, um, because Eddie kind of wanted confirmation that he is actually gay, and he realizes he really didn't like having sex with her, but she kind of got the satisfaction of having sex with the guy that she really likes. Um, and then after that, um, the three of them just get there's a vibe going going on between the three of them. They become really, really close, to the point that like whenever any of them have other dates, they like it's like you need to meet my roommates the same way it's like you need to meet my parents. And like so Stu like brings a girl back, um and they like make fun of her while she's in the bathroom and she hears it through the air vent. Or Alex brings a guy over and the other two like taunt her while she's in her room with him, and just like the boundaries between the three of them are just gone. And
interesting.
that brings us to the lake. Um, and Chloe, what happens at the lake?
They go skinny dipping with their shoes on. I don't know how else to say it. They, they get very cozy. The clothes start dropping. Suddenly they're in the lake with their shoes on. When they come out of the lake, shoes are still on. A class of very young school children walks by, and yeah,
Their clothes are still off.
that It's exactly how it
And
sounds.
this is the first time the three of them engage in like a they just kiss, and I think they like awkwardly massage Alex's boobs, which is really funny. And then like a small group of children come by, and they have to leave. This is also, I think, the first time we see the gnome.
Yes, they steal it on the way to the lake, which the gnome is my favorite part of the movie.
What is the gnome to you, Ashley? Please tell us more.
I don't even know what it's supposed to represent. Like maybe their relationship. I'm not sure what they
It's
were going with it.
in my
But the
in my
gnome
notes.
becomes like important.
I have a note here that just says gnome symbol for friendship question mark. Another
It's like a gnome
symbol.
smoking a pipe too. It's like and it's like
It is a very
ginger.
silly. Yeah. So another kind of symbol in this movie is pizza. Um, the pizza, I don't know what the pizza represents, but there is a lot of pizza in this movie. And I know that they're in college and like college students eat a lot of pizza, but for the amount of pizza that there is in this movie, you would think that it was set in like a little Italy or like New York or somewhere. Like I know that pizza exists outside of that idea, but like the way it looks like it's New York style pizza, like it's not genuine Italian, it's not Chicago, it's not Detroit. It's like it's a very specific kind of pizza that they're eating. Um it's just that really gets me. You can tell a lot about people the way that they take their pizza. Um so I didn't really write this down, but there is a point where Stu and Alex start having sex, just the two of them. And Eddie is left out. And Eddie, at a certain point, comes to believe that Stu is a gay person in the closet because of how misogynistic he is. Because he says like all he talks about is girls and how big his dick is. And that like talking about wanting to have sex with girls is really just talking about himself having sex, and he wants other guys to think that he's attractive for how much sex he has with girls. Um, but Stu is not. Um, he is not. But one night when the two of them have had a bit to drink, he Eddie confesses that he's attracted to Stu, and he also says that when he had sex with Alex, it was a really bad lay, which is a dig. And Stu, for being as kind of stereotypical, dude bro as he was, he actually takes Eddie like confessing his affection for him like very well, and he's just like, look man, you're my friend and I love you, but I'm not gay and I'm not going to be gay. I never was gay. um but it's all in vain because the three of them have sex with each other anyway, like all together. And then the like I don't even know what you would call this, but it's like the third act plot twist that doesn't really do anything, but just
Oh my
like
god,
throw
yeah,
a
I forgot
conflict
about
in.
this.
Just throw a conflict in for like 5 minutes as Alex thinks that she's pregnant after the three of them have had sex. And they're all uh, waiting for like her pregnancy test to come back. I really like this implication that both of them ejaculated in in her without condoms on.
Yeah, it's like Schrodinger's fetus.
Right. And so they're obviously all very nervous, and who wants to talk about the Jesus candle?
Like Ashley wants to talk about the Jesus candle.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, oh, no. So Stu, that's his name, right?
Yeah.
He like gets up because he's anxious and he's like, I'm gonna go pee. And like while he's in the bathroom, he sees a Jesus candle. And then like the
Inexplicably in their
screen,
bathroom.
yeah, like we don't know why it's there. And the screen like cuts away to, Josh Charles' character there and Alex. And you hear like something crashing in the bathroom. This is so bad. And they run in there and he's like on the ground crying. And they're like, "What's wrong?" And he says the Jesus candle told him to cut his pee-pee off because of what he did.
That's the exact word that they use.
Yes, they say pee-pee, which is terrible. Like, ugh.
And then Alex goes, Jesus doesn't want you to cut your pee-pee off.
Yes, like right after.
This
Which
is like
is incredible.
Oh,
like unnecessary scenes because they just
Unnecessary.
it feels like an afterthought where they're just like, oh yeah, by the way, we need to make this guy have like an existential
Well,
crisis.
yeah, at the very end of the movie, Eddie's character in voiceover implies that Stu kind of changed his ways after this and he like settled down and became monogamous. I don't know if you guys know this, but like in the late 90s, Steve Baldwin, he became a born-again Christian and he denounced this movie and constantly felt the need to tell people he wasn't bisexual and like no one asked. Like
I
it's
wouldn't
very
even get
different.
that implication either. Like, yeah, he did this movie, but like, I wouldn't get that implication from his character at all.
His character is so aggressively straight that it's
Like
crazy.
The point is that Stu is he doesn't the point is that the three of them are attracted in like a circle to each other, but it doesn't go in reverse.
I think this is like the most pure love triangle in the sense of every time there's a love triangle in a movie, it's always like two guys and a girl, but the guys aren't attracted to each other. But this one is the most uninterrupted love triangle because it's so circular. It's an actual love triangle, not like a love V or whatever.
Right. Exactly. And another thing that I wanted to bring to your attention, and I couldn't really find sources to corroborate this. This is just from IMDb, but I believe it to a degree that there were reportedly, allegedly, intimate scenes filmed with Steve Baldwin and Josh Charles, but they got cut from the movie, which is kind of, I feel like it would have been more progressive for them to include it because by the end, they really only like touch each other's butts. Like that's all they do.
Like they don't kiss ever. Like
no. So after the pregnancy thing, she's not pregnant. And after that, like the school year ends and they all kind of go their separate ways and they don't really talk to each other after that and it's just kind of over. And then like that's it. Like that's the end of the movie. There's one more scene.
Interesting way to end it though, because in the movie, like everyone in the school is like, why the hell are they so close? Like they're weirded out by how close all three of them are.
Like dry humping each other in the fucking lobby of their building.
Yeah. Like they're so close to the point that like the students around the school are trying to figure out like who's dating who and like what the vibe is there.
Yeah. They're the talk of the front desk people.
Played by Alexis Arquette, which is kind of iconic.
It's very iconic, if you ask me. There's really only one more thing for me to say about this movie, but I just want to open it to you guys if there's something that I've left out or something you'd like to discuss before my final point.
I think so. I think I think we've covered most of the oddities and whatnot regarding it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
think
I think. Oh, go ahead, Chloe.
And this might be what you're about to cover, but as progressive as we believe the movie to be, there's
whatever
also that
that
one
is what I'm
scene.
about to say.
You want to go ahead?
So there is a scene in this movie that the first time I watched it back probably 5 different times because it was so insane. Um, so there's a part of this movie where they're in like the cafeteria of the university or whatever. And I like so Josh Josh's character is talking about like slurs and how it's not cool for straight people to use the F slur that usually is towards gay men. Um but like for gay men, it's cool for them to say the F slur because that's like their thing.
Oh God, yeah.
And then he says that it's the same way that like black people can use the N word, but he says the N word like hard R.
Yeah, hard
and
R and everything in this cafeteria.
and so he says like it's the same way that black people can say the N word because it's a slur against them, like it's their word to use. And Steve Baldwin rightfully says, "Well, why can you say the N word?" And he says, "I can say the N word because I'm an F slur."
The logic
know,
is not there.
girl
The
math.
delivery of it was so sincere. Like, that's why it's so funny.
Yeah, I forgot about that scene. I think I repressed it because it's just so out of pocket.
It also doesn't match the rest of the movie, like, at all, which is just so weird.
Well,
It just feels like they were looking for an excuse to be able to say
say
the
the
F
N
word.
word.
Well, that, but
Like
mostly
Quentin
the F slur.
Tarantino. It's like Quentin
Yeah.
Tarantino trying to use the N word in all of his movies.
Well, I
Oh
mean,
my
we've included one slur. We just gotta swing for the fences and include them all now.
Yeah. If you're offended by one, you have to be offended by them all. Um, and I mean, the thing is like I would not put it past people say all kinds of stuff and like you know there is a whole debate in the LGBT population of like can cis gay people, say slurs that are directed at trans people, and can heterosexual trans people say words that are direct, and it's all like they're all just slurs used to dehumanize one another, and like there's not really any point in saying them at all anyway, but like the way that he was so confident, like he's clearly thought about this. He's so confident when he was saying this. Like, it's the reason you can't, there's a reason you can't use the F slur because that's for gay people. It's the same thing as, the N word for black people, but I can say the N word because I'm gay.
As absurd as it sounds, being quite active in my local queer community, I have met people like that who genuinely
It's
think they
completely
can't be racist.
realistic. That's the
Yeah,
crazy part.
they've genuinely thought they can't be racist because they're a minority, which is
Yeah.
absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
So honestly, as hilarious and as shocking as the scene is, it's not that far off from a few
No.
people's mentalities.
Yeah, and that isn't to say literally every gay person, but
Oh
it is
God,
not
no.
it's not unrealistic for that too. So anyway, that's I think probably my favorite scene in the movie just because it was so shocking. Not that like he said the N-word, but like the way someone wrote that down and a bunch of people read it and they were like, yeah,
Then
this is
they
going in
watched
the
them
movie.
act it and went, yeah, this is going in. This is
Yeah,
going in
Josh
now.
Charles read that and was like, I'm gonna say it.
Well, I mean, he did
He might
put
have
his
seen it as
whole
his only
pussy,
opportunity.
yeah, he put his whole pussy into those lines, and like,
It was very convincing.
yeah,
And just the final note is like he looks so good in this movie specifically. He's a
good.
handsome guy, but he looks really good in this movie. Um, so yeah, I mean, I think that's the end of that's the end of the threesome. Everyone go home. Um, I'm gonna hand it off to B, who's gonna be talking about another Josh Charles movie that has to do with sex.
yeah, and it came out like right after Threesome, right?
Yeah,
Am
the
I
1995, the year after, the same year that Before Sunrise came out. If you want to
so,
if you want to compare,
which
we're-
is really fucking crazy, honestly. So in 1995, fresh off of Dead Poet Society and of course Threesome, Josh Charles ended up trading prep school angst for whimsical small town romance in Pie in the Sky. And in this movie, he plays Charlie Dunlap, a Los Angeles. Well, I don't think he's from Los Angeles in the movie, right?
Southern California at least.
Yeah, okay. So he's Southern California. He plays a traffic control savant whose obsession with synchronizing the city stoplights is interrupted when he falls in love with the free spirit artist and dancer, Amy. It's a film that asks, can a man who choreographs the pulse of an entire city learn to let his own heart beat off tempo? It's set in peak 90s LA sprawl. It's like a quirky, sun-washed, and quietly punk movie. It's part rom-com, part ode to the oddballs who refuse to fit the corporate cool mold of mid-90s culture. And tonight we'll talk about Josh Charles's Charm Offensive, the film's indie rom-com DNA, and why a story about traffic patterns and true love can somehow feel a little fresh and quite modern 30 years later. Grab a slice because we are about to cut into Pie in the Sky.
What are you
So-
doing?
Pardon?
What the fuck are you doing? Why are you doing like a 60 minutes intro to this movie?
That's what I did for Hairspray.
Yeah, I love it. This is so good. Grab a Slice was iconic.
Grab a
Thank
slice.
you. Thank
Going.
you. It's honestly the movie's not that great, but I'm gonna try to do it justice as much as I
Okay.
can.
Keep
So-
going, keep going.
No, it's okay. So to start off, the movie really comes in with a bang several times because the first whole chunk of the movie is Josh Charles, his character, and how his character relates to sex. It's just there's a lot of sex. There's a lot of sex. It's his parents having
There's
sex in the car, and that's
so
how he
much
was conceived, presumably.
Well, yeah, he's
in
born
traffic.
in traffic. Yeah.
He was
Well,
conceived in
it's
traffic.
yeah,
Yeah.
and he starts off as a child. And Ashley, do you want to talk about who made a little guest appearance?
Yes, I definitely want to get into this.
Okay,
So-
okay.
They don't promote it too crazy, but like when they list the top stars in this movie, they include Will Wheaton just for him to be in it. No joke. Maybe a minute at most. And all he's doing is teaching Josh Charles' character about sex incorrectly. Like, it makes no sense. You have no idea why they're friends, why he's there. They're like sitting against a tree, and you never see him again.
Yeah, then he just disappears, and it's like, okay, thanks,
Yeah.
Will Wheaton.
He got
Yeah.
stuck in traffic on his second day, and so he couldn't be in the rest of the movie.
No. Yeah, and so it follows Josh's character, Charlie, as he kind of grows into adolescence and young adulthood, and the whole time he is really into traffic for some reason. Like, just obsessed with traffic, and his dream is to be a traffic reporter. And he has one idol who is played by fucking John Goodman.
Did
Can we
Quite
stop for just a second? Did they like hold John Goodman's family hostage for him to be in this movie?
Like, it's such an odd guest appear, I guess. Like,
I mean,
it's one of those things. Yeah, it's so weird.
he's top billing, but he's really only in the movie. I mean, he's only on screen for probably 20 minutes.
Yeah, but his voice kind of haunts the whole thing because you hear his traffic reporting, his very salacious. Ooh, and
he
has a love interest. Charlie does who is played by Anne H. Rest in peace. And I think she does a pretty decent job at just being a manic pixie dream girl, but she does not want to be the manic pixie dream girl. She's just a free-spirited dancer, and Charlie's in love with her, and they have sex in a field, which is how you get a UTI first. That's how you get a UTI.
Before we get like too deep into their thing, Charlie, the reason he's so obsessed with the traffic report is because his parents fight all the time. And when they fight, they get like horny for each other, and then they start doing it very, very loudly. So since he was a kid, he listened to the traffic report to tune him out, and I guess that's how they portray he got into it.
I think he would leave his house and go to like the nearest freeway and watch all the same cars go by.
His home life is just shit. So
it's very toxic. Yeah.
And it's hinted that his parents straight up conceived him in a car, so I mean
after a fight over traffic.
Crazy part is that his date with the girl is he brings her to go and watch traffic, and then instead of appreciating it, climbs up onto the ledge and starts walking above the traffic because spirit
to kill herself.
Heals.
She's quirky, she's different, she's unique. She has no regard for her own safety.
Yeah, she's free-spirited.
Yeah, and at some point, she kind of breaks it off because she wants to move to LA because she's a dancer.
She's in like a dance troupe or something.
Yeah, something like that. It's not that great.
They do like interpretive dance, like about the environment. It's like what like Republicans always say is the arts, like the weird stuff that they always try to put down. It's like what they imagine a dance troupe to be.
It's exactly what you expect when you think of interpretive dance. In like a very surface level, yes, this is weird and mildly uncomfortable interpretive dance.
Yeah. They're water and they're oil and they don't mix and they
Yeah. And eventually Charlie, he follows her to LA. She doesn't want him to, and she doesn't know, but he goes to LA anyway. Not to. Yeah, and he does anyway. And then he meets a MILF. Or a cougar. I don't know if she has kids.
Landlord is the MILF.
Yeah, his landlord is the MILF, and she teaches him how to fuck, basically, and how to dance, but mostly how to fuck. And I respect it.
Always in the shower for some reason.
Always in the shower. There is we cannot stress how much sex there is in this movie. It's kind of crazy.
There's usually more sex than there is in Threesome, and the whole point of Threesome is to be a sex movie. That's how crazy it is.
There's more sex in Pie in the Sky than there is like traffic.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, it's like 50 Shades for traffic enjoyers. It's crazy. So she is working as a waitress, I believe, and they kind of run into each other, and he's like, oh my god, like, I followed you, I love you, and she has a fiance. And that's it. So she's not happy, but he really wants to be with her and then also be a traffic reporter. So then it diverts into him accosting John Goodman at a fucking urinal in the news station to be like, let me talk about news. Let me talk about news.
Do the traffic.
Yeah, I want to do the traffic. And he's like, no. So then he's like, fuck. And
also, I think, but then he becomes an intern at the news station. And he like gets people coffee and stuff.
Yeah,
I don't remember how that happened.
I also don't remember how that happened. I just
So
remember the
they
urinal scene.
meet each other in like the urinal or whatever, and he recognizes him because of his voice. Yeah, and then it's like weird because like John Goodman's got like his dick out, like you don't see it, but like Josh is not acknowledging that fact, and John Goodman's clearly
he
uncomfortable.
Yeah, you
Like-
know his dick is in his hand right now.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like Josh is like, "You are my favorite person ever," and like starts fangirling like crazy over him while he's pissing in a urinal. And doesn't he say like you're a good kid, like stop by sometimes, and that's how he gets him like the interning job. I think.
Okay,
I'm trying to
yeah.
remember.
Yeah, somehow him talking to him in the urinal was a successful tactic.
Yeah, he charmed him somehow.
With dick out and all, dick and balls out for the world, out for God, you know, the whole thing. But also, as an important side note about John Goodman's character is he's a fucking alcoholic. He's an alcoholic,
And
and
going through a divorce or something too, like messy.
he's just suffering, and he's kind of an asshole. And one morning, while he's supposed to get ready to go in the helicopter and talk about the news, he passes out because he's drunk. And Josh Charles's character is like, "Oh my god, this is my moment. I have to do the traffic reporting." And he goes into the helicopter and he does the traffic reporting, and he's really good at it because it's all he's ever trained to do his entire life is to be John Traffic or whatever. and you'd expect that to be his like hero moment of like passing the torch from like John Goodman's character to Josh Charles's character, but that doesn't happen. He gets fired. And then he goes to Paris.
Okay, no, wait, you just missed the last. So there's a point where the girl finds out that her dance troupe got like a scholarship or something in Paris, and he's like, I could go with you. Well, so no, he's trying to get her to stay because his dream is to be a traffic reporter with John Goodman. And he's like trying to drive to the airport or whatever to stop her, but he gets stuck in traffic, and he calls John Goodman to tell him about the traffic. And then he gets around the traffic and he goes to her and she's like, I'm going to Paris, you can't stop me. And then he says the most obvious thing in the world, which is that there is traffic in Paris too, and he could be a traffic reporter in Paris. And then he goes to Paris and he does traffic in French in Paris, which is hilarious because everyone would be able to know that he doesn't speak French at any point in the movie until that. So you know he's not like fluent in French or anything, and everyone would be able to tell and they would make fun of him. And also, like, I thought the whole point was that he loved the traffic and he loved John Goodman and he wanted to do it with John Goodman and he wanted to do it in LA because that's where he's from. But then he's just chill with doing it in Paris because that's where her dance troupe is. And then like the movie's just kind of over after that.
And the whole time we have no clue what the fuck pie in the sky means.
Okay, so the phrase,
well, we know what it means, we just don't know how it...
Right? It's like what they call the helicopter, like it's a pie in the sky, and so he's in the helicopter doing a traffic report.
No, I think it's a metaphor. Because one guy yells at him, "What, you want your pie in the sky?" And then they should have just rolled the credits.
I'm looking up pie in the sky meaning.
No, so the phrase pie in the sky is like, my therapist just said it in one of our sessions, so that's how I can infer this. It's like it means like it's the ideal outcome of something, but it's incredibly unlikely.
Arguably, he gets that though. Like, just before he goes to Paris, when he's chasing down Anne's character, gets stuck in really bad traffic, and he tries to get the phone off the guy in the car next to him. And he's like, "What do you mean, you know John Traffic?" And he's like, "I know John Traffic." And he gets the traffic cleared. Like, he got his pie in the sky moment. He goes to Paris, living a good life. Um, Moral of the story, you can get your pie in the sky.
Is that what it means?
No, probably not, but that's what we're saying.
I think
Yeah.
it's a bit far-fetched, I'd say. I wish it was like a pun on traffic.
Yeah.
Like,
I
There's
don't know.
multiple
It's
different
weird.
names they could have picked for this, honestly.
don't let the signs stop you or something. Like, sign stealer or
Follow your love interest to LA even though she doesn't want you to, and then have sex with the cougar. I mean, there are so many options.
yeah, follow directions. I don't know.
Cost people like urinals.
Green means go. So I have some questions. I want to put out to the group about the movie. Personal opinion questions. So, do you guys think that his obsession with traffic lights, do you think that is alarming or like lovable and cute? Like, what would you do if you were seeing this guy and you were like, "So what are your hobbies?" And he was like, "Traffic."
Listen, I know what Sunny's gonna say, but I find it charming.
Okay. Listen, we got in a big argument about this. I stand by this. I still think I'm right that for the purposes of storytelling, like, remove the idea that in real life someone could just be obsessed with traffic. I don't believe that, but whatever. For the purpose of storytelling, for the purpose of this story, I think that really wanting to be a traffic reporter is too weird and niche for a relatable main character. Like, I think if it was any other thing in a news station, I would be able to buy it. If it was, I really want to be a weatherman because I love science and I love the weather, I love weather patterns, like, I think all of that's interesting, like, the extremes that it can be, you know, I that really interests me. Or like, I want to be a journalist, I want to be a crime reporter, like, I want to know the psychology of. There's a fucking siren.
That's a loud ass siren. That was a loud ass siren.
So, can people please stop dying right now?
Yeah,
fuck.
We're trying to film a podcast here.
Right. But like, okay, I'm closing the window.
And he's getting heated up.
Yeah.
No, because she knows what I'm gonna say after she's done too.
Okay, so my point is I if it was any other thing in a news station, I think you could find like a justification for why like a little kid would be really interested in that. And I know that kids get interested in like weird things all the time. I understand that. I understand that like someone has to be a traffic reporter and it might as well be someone who's really into traffic. I get that. But you can't tell me like I know what Ashley's going to say. She's going to say like, "Well, it's interesting, you know, it's fun to kind of people get interested in, weird niche things all the time, and like it's cool that a main character has the weird niche thing." And that's fine, but for that argument, it's like you are replacing his weird niche thing in your mind with your weird niche thing that you're interested in. You know what I mean? It's like he's interested in something super specific. I'm also interested in something super specific. Therefore, I see myself in him. But it's like everyone is interested in something. And so because I know you guys are about to disagree with me and make me look dumb, but I
No, I just
don't
want to know,
think
like,
No, I see your point. I just personally, I find it endearing, and then also maybe just because I'm susceptible to like cheesy movies, like after watching this, a part of me was like, whoa, maybe Traffic is that interesting, and was like
no,
invested.
you did not think that. No
No.
one thinks Traffic
No.
is fucking interesting.
I would not go that
Well,
far. I
exactly, but
support
it
you, but I
made
would
me
not go
like,
that far.
oh, I don't know.
had a friend growing up who was obsessed with being a school bus driver. And from the time he was a child all the way until he graduated high school, he's like, I'm going to be a school bus driver. So, I mean,
There's a guy in my
That
school wanted
is
to be a widescreen fitter for cars, which was the most niche thing I'd ever heard out of a 14-year-old boy's mouth.
okay,
yeah.
but like those two things that you guys just said, that is one person that you can think of who really wanted to do that thing. It isn't that it is drawing on the interest of other people who are interested in traffic. It's just drawing on the interest of people who are into something really specific. And I don't think that that actually connects viewers to the character the way that it should.
But
I also care way too much about this.
I was
Just to
also
be clear.
asking from like a personal, what would you do specifically if a guy you were seeing was like, I fucking love Traffic? Like, what would you do?
Oh, pay and leave.
I think I would be like, okay, what the fuck? Like, it would be a little out of pocket, like, you did not just say that to me. But then also, like, I think of the scene where he is on the bridge with what's-her-face there, and she's, like, into him because he'll be like, oh, look, here comes, like, a red Ford truck, and not even, like, 2 seconds later, it would come. And, like, he had it all memorized. I could see how, like, you'd be like, oh, this is kind of cute. Like, he's dorky. He's into this, too. I don't know. I feel like there's both sides of it, and you'd have to look past a lot of things to get to the good parts of it.
I wouldn't have
Okay,
to
the
look
way
past
it's
it.
shown as almost a compulsion, like this guy might just have an anxiety disorder.
Reason okay, that's another thing is the reason he is interested in Traffic is based on the toxic relationship of his parents. Like,
Same
I
reason
wouldn't
she was in interpretive dance because her parents were also very similar to his, but in a way that they'd write books about it instead of subjecting her to it.
I don't think that it, invalidates like, his interest in it. Like, I think lots of people, I think especially our generation in America anyway, like when we were kids, the recession in 2008 happened, and that put a lot of strain on most parents trying to send their kids to school and, get them set up for the rest of their lives, which they couldn't even predict how much fucking worse it would get. And so, like, yeah, I heard my parents fight a lot, and, you know, that, maybe my interest could have been going to I-70 and looking at the cars go by. But so, like, I don't think that it's based I don't mean to say that that invalidates his interest in it or that, like but I think it would explain, like, maybe that just that idea that, like, his parents were, had this really toxic thing going on, and his escape was going out of the house and looking at all the cars going by, like, I think that is more interesting than him just really wanting to be a traffic reporter. I
Rom-com,
think
I
that's
feel
more
like,
relatable.
yeah, they could have, added a touch of like reality of like, okay, this is where it stems from, and it's how you grow from trauma or whatever. But no, they're
The
just
thing
like, this
with
kid.
his parents is like really played off as a joke, which is
Yeah.
fine. But I think that that would have been a more interesting thing to focus on because that also, relates to his relationship with sex and how anytime he fights with his girlfriend, he thinks the way that he has to make it up to her is by having sex. And like that's the way he apologizes and like she's like, no, we can't just fuck and forget about you, like, calling me names and stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
So
everything that doesn't have to do with traffic in this movie is way more interesting than all of the traffic stuff.
yeah, and keep in mind, like, this came out in the middle of the 90s, and the 90s had so many good rom-coms come out. Like, of course, it's same year as Before Sunrise, and then there was also like You've Got Mail, Sleepless in Seattle, like
Hill
all of
came out early 90s,
yeah.
yeah.
And so, and all of those rom-coms actually had a touch of reality in them and seriousness, and it worked really well to balance it out. Whereas Pie in the Sky, it just keeps getting like more weird and unrealistic in a sense. And I feel like if they grounded it in reality more, it would have been like as Sunny said, much more relatable as a film. But as it stands, the premise itself is just so like like specific, so niche.
Yeah. Well, I
So I
think,
think
like,
yeah.
just because I've said Notting Hill now, I'm now comparing it to that. But like, in Notting Hill, Hugh Grant's character, he owns a niche travel bookstore in this one part of London, and he falls in love with a super famous actress. And like that, none of us could fucking relate to that. But like their relationship and their connection of like why he owns the travel bookstore and what she's looking for in a romantic partner like makes the movie interesting. It isn't, you can kind of get over that the situation is, quote unquote unrealistic or like that you can kind of get over the nicheness of, I mean, travel bookstores aren't necessarily niche, but they're, genre based. Like you can kind of get over that because the relationship is so like well portrayed and like Pie in the Sky just focuses so fucking hard on the traffic that it's just hard to relate to, I feel like.
It's very spin the
Yeah.
wheel. What's he obsessed with? Traffic. Spin the wheel. Who's his landlady? But
Yeah,
in a
throw a
world
dart.
where everyone's a hockey player, I do kind of appreciate the nicheness. But that's an opinion from hindsight.
Fair. That's fair.
If we were to go on and like connect that to like Josh Charles and his previous roles, so I
Go
feel
on.
like at this point, um, his character of Charlie is like I don't know if you guys feel this way, but it's basically the same brand of like Knox Overstreet, but
Have a
dialed
note
up.
here. I have a note here that says he kind of plays the same character in every movie he's in.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
always that hopeless romantic, impulsive.
He
And
really got typecasted in the
oh,
90s for
100%.
He just
100%.
has the face. His face just gives that, I feel, in every project he
yeah.
does.
He's very romantic. He's very, I don't know why all of the roles are, as sex-based as they are, but he really did kind of get trapped in that. And I feel like at a certain point he kind of got trapped in like man in suit. Like I feel like that's a lot of what he does now is just he's whatever it is, he's a guy in a suit.
And
Um,
he's on business.
he's doing business. He's doing a law or he's doing something else. Like he's a guy in a suit. Um, and he does it well. I'm not saying that he's like a bad man in a suit, but he really kind of is just sticks to what he can do. And in the 90s he was very good at being, you know, he's a very
Hopeless
good
romantic.
actor. I don't want to just be
Yeah.
like he's hot, but he's very attractive. He's a good romantic male lead, I feel.
Yeah. He has puppy dog eyes. It's okay.
Yeah, he does have dog eyes, which is
Yeah.
always a plus.
Very big plus. So I do have some kind of rom-com related questions, and I just want to know your thoughts. So there are a lot of tropes that are used in rom-coms, especially in the 90s and into the 2000s, and I want your opinion on whether or not these tropes are still good or are tiring and need to be put away and never touched again.
All right, let's go.
So first off, enemies to lovers, such as 10 Things I Hate About You. What are your guys' thoughts?
100% A plus.
A plus, A plus?
I love it. Yeah.
Okay.
I really
Okay.
love 10 Things I Hate About You, and I don't hate the trope enemies to lovers, but I think it is done a lot and not very well. But when it's done well, it's like it's really good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I find a lot of the bickering that's used in these situations,
Yes.
it
When they
doesn't
fight and then they fuck.
the bickering just doesn't really age well, in my opinion.
Yeah,
But
that's
that's
the point.
just me. Next up we have the makeover. So such as She's All That, or what's the Princess Diaries? Is that one it?
Yeah, Princess Diaries.
I was
They
about
straighten
to
her
say
hair.
that one.
Yeah. So
Love
do you think that
Princess
is like
Diaries.
glow up positivity, or do you think that's toxic? Like, what are your thoughts?
Listen, I'm the
genuinely-
biggest She's All That defender, but there
Me
is
too.
something not great about like I took her glasses off and took her ponytail out and now she's worth it. Like
Where's
it's like
lipstick?
no. Yeah,
I
she actually
think-
put lipstick on, like fuck off.
I think there is like there is an aspect of it I like, which I know that this is a like odd one to pick out, but like in Cinderella, right? She gets the fairy godmother who, puts her in a beautiful dress and gets her a beautiful carriage, and she goes to the ball, and the prince, just falls over himself to dance with her. But, ultimately it isn't the big beautiful dress. It is like her beauty that, keeps him. And so I think like the glow up to elevate what is there, I think is fine. I enjoy that. But kind of the way it has always been is like you take the quote unquote nerdy girl or the weird girl and you make her into the conventionally attractive kind of man's dream. Like it's very much male gaze.
I think honestly, in The Breakfast Club, she was done
Oh
so
my
dirty.
god!
She was
Oh
d-
my
she was
god!
done so
Don't fucking
dirty.
talk to me about The Breakfast Club.
No.
I hate that movie.
Ellie Sheedy, goth mommy. They should have kept her like that. I think her
She was
makeover
so
was
cute.
shit.
She was so cute.
Yeah. I think
The other
that
thing-
trope needs to die.
The other thing about like Ashley said, I love She's All That for as fucking stupid as it is. But I think the defense that I can give She's All That solely is that it was something that in a way she wanted. I mean, yes, she was being used as a bet, which is bad, and that's toxic, but I don't think it wasn't that she, in the beginning of the movie, she was unapproachable and people like weren't into her because they thought she was scary, but Freddie Prinze Jr., Fred from Scooby-Doo, obviously, he kind of brings her out of that and kind of shows people that she isn't what everyone thinks she is, and that he sees her as conventionally as what someone would think was conventionally attractive. And it's kind of the same thing where it's like, I really like your personality, and I think your personality looks like this on the outside. I don't think it's great that it's like the take glasses off, pull hair down mess that,
Yeah.
like, I agree that that is and I think a lot of it that is dead for the most part. I don't see it as often. I think it's kind of been replaced with like the dress up montage.
Which is
Yeah.
iconic.
Yeah.
It's funny. I
I
was
love-
gonna bring up She's All That earlier because that has the, quirky girl interpretive dance factor.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
was
Poetry,
comparing that.
slam poetry.
Yes, because they do like the slam poetry scene, and then there's like the interpretive dance part, and Freddie Prince Jr. does the thing with the hacky sack, and it's like really intense, and it's like the first time she's like, oh, he's not just the popular guy in that movie too.
Yeah, it's the way that they come to understand one another.
Yeah.
It's just kind of comes in like a weird package. So, but
Like, it works
overall,
in certain contexts.
yeah.
Okay, I have 3 more. The next one is the grand gesture rain kiss, like in The Notebook.
Love,
Yeah.
love. Boombox over my head outside your window right now, B. You'll see me there.
Are you holding a boombox while you're at it?
We always do like the boombox outside your window joke. I mean, I personally am not a huge fan of grand gestures. I like little gestures over a long period of time.
For sure.
I think like in a storytelling way, it makes sense that it's kind of just consolidated into one display of affection. Like I get that in a story sense, but like in real life, I'm not into it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Also sets an unrealistic expectation for people who are like, oh yeah, this is the epitome of love. I need to do this for my partner. And that's how you end up with really, really cringy, like public proposals and public gestures that are not taken well and are very hard to watch.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of the trope. Like, it's been
Okay,
done
but
good.
you can't convince me otherwise that Heath Ledger didn't do a great job in 10 Things I Hate About You singing Can't Take My Eyes Off of You.
That is different. That's different.
Funny.
That is
That
so
is the
different.
grandest of gestures. If somebody proposed to me like that, it'd be a yes on the spot.
Yeah, no, that is in a complete, like, other realm. That is perfect, show-stopping, brilliant, never before seen.
And
I
never
have
done
nothing bad to
since,
say
I
about
feel. It's never been done in the same way.
No, it's always been, like, the very, like, kiss in the rain type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like the 10 Things I Hate About You one was just so lighthearted and fun that it made it work.
Yeah.
Next one is a trope that I fucking hate with every
Oh.
fiber of my being, and I don't know why. But like the amnesia / identity swap, like while you were sleeping, or Princess and the Pauper.
No, I love you were sleeping. No. She falls in love with his brother, not the amnesia patient, though.
No, but it's still like used as a crux of. I don't know.
Are you talking about like when you'd read fan fiction in 2013 and at one point the character would lose its memory, like always they'd be in a coma? It was like the default plot line for 13-year-old girls.
Like, I don't know. I think that trope in general, like using it as a plot device, and even just identity swapping in general, as we've seen it so many times.
Dude, there were literally 3 Vanessa Hudgens movies with that exact plot on Netflix like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
The Princess Switch, right? Or something?
Yeah.
What was that? Yeah.
Princess Switch.
However, Disney's hit movie Princess and the Pauper, no notes. No notes.
I've never seen it.
You've never seen Princess and the Pauper?
No.
Oh my
Are you talking
god.
about the Barbie one?
Barbie
Or
one.
Yeah.
yeah, Barbie,
Oh
the
my
one
God,
that's my
Barbie.
favorite
I
Barbie movie.
wasn't really a Barbie movie kid. I was like
Oh,
a Disney
Barbie one.
kid.
no.
I used to have
So
the
good.
dolls, the two main dolls, and I would make them kiss each other, and my grandmother did not like that.
That's awesome.
That should have been a
Soundtrack
sign.
alone is phenomenal in that movie.
Like, it's
Disney-
not an objectively great movie,
I
but
don't know
it
what you're
is
talking about.
a
All
lot
our
of
movies
It's
are
Isn't
incredible.
it? It's a great movie.
a great movie
And
to
also,
me.
it gave us Preminger, played by Martin Short, and he doesn't remember doing
Exactly.
that movie. He does not remember doing that movie.
It's my favorite fact.
Yeah, but
It's
he's the best part.
he was the best part. I'm not even gonna lie. Everything else is not even relevant. The final trope I have, it goes back into a threesome category, but the
Oh, no.
accidental roommate trope. How do we feel?
I mean, I like it, but it has to be done right. Like, it
Yeah.
can't be done in
Right.
a threesome way, like, they thought she was a boy and put her in the room. Like, it has to be, like, in a new girl way, like, this was her only option, and she ended up finding, like, the right people way.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Or you can make it queer. You can make it queer and have it like a
Oh,
dorm
yeah.
situation. But I'm thinking more of like the proposal kind of type accidental roommates, which also ties into the oh my god, there was only one bed.
Well, that
I-
and fake dating, too, which I'm surprised you didn't bring up fake dating.
I love fake dating. I love
do
fake
too.
dating enemies to lovers.
Fake
Yes.
dating enemies to lovers is such a god tier trope if executed
Never
right.
done well. It's never done well.
No. And we're still waiting for it to be done well, which is
Right.
why I haven't brought it up yet, because I could not think of any good examples.
My fan fiction.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
There we go.
Real as fuck. You know what trope I also think is really annoying? The whole secret royal / secret rich man.
Oh, yeah, I don't like that either. That's like every Hallmark movie ever made.
Yeah. Like, that's why it doesn't count, because it's really only used in Hallmark movies, but you know, I just thought I'd mention it.
Other than Dear Dumb Diary, which is probably arguably the best Hallmark movie ever made, so.
Yeah, well, greatest movie ever made.
Yeah,
Not
they
even just
can't top
Hallmark
Dear
movie,
Dumb
greatest
Diary.
movie ever made. What I was gonna say was, I also don't feel like that really even ever happened. Like, I vaguely remember the story of how Harry and Meghan met. Was one of Meghan's friends set them up on a blind date, and when they showed up, she was like, "You're the fucking prince," and he was like, "You were on Suits?" But like, that's not, he wasn't secretly a prince. Like, everyone fucking knows who Prince Harry is.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I don't
You finish first.
I don't think that there is, in a modern world where we know more about the royal family than we ever wanted to know. Like, I don't really see a scenario where that is, like, where that would even happen in real life. So it's always funny when it happens in a movie and they're like, "You've never seen a picture of the prince before."
Yeah, real as fuck.
Yeah.
Which is
Maybe.
also a whole it could go back to the hit Barbie movie Princess and the Pauper, but we don't have to talk about that. It's fine.
Okay, Chloe, finish your thought, please.
Disney, the Princess Protection Program, that one with Selena Gomez, Demi Lovato.
Great movie.
Movie of my childhood.
I got that on DVD, and my best friend from my childhood got that on DVD, and we had the best friend necklace lockets that was a heart when you connected them. because we were best friends. That
Sweet.
brain altered my brain chemistry. Fucking Greg from Succession is in it.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh,
You would love it, Gay. Greg is in it.
I love Cousin Greg. I love Cousin Greg.
We all do. We all love Cousin Greg.
Yeah.
And his
I haven't
boyfriend
seen-
Tom.
And his boyfriend Tom, yeah. But I haven't seen Princess Protection Program since I was a child. I only remember there was a scene where which one was the princess?
Demi
was the
Lovato.
When she was holding.
We do need to wrap it up here in just
Oh, no,
a second because we've been going for a while.
No, I'm just finishing my thought.
Okay.
There was a scene where she was handling worms or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's all I remember. But yeah, to sum up the whole thing, Pie in the Sky is not an amazing movie. It's fine. Threesome is fine. Josh Charles, good fuck.
Threesome is one of those movies that's only enjoyable in a group where I'd say you could watch Pie in the Sky alone, but it's not going to be like this is my favorite romance movie, I'm going to rewatch it either.
Yeah, Threesome is definitely a group watch. It's a threesome movie. You have to watch it with at least 2 other people.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that brings us to the end of the first episode. Thank you very much for listening. Obviously we're going to be kind of going through filmographies in a random kind of order. We're probably going to get to the ones that you want us to talk about if you want us to talk about anything. So don't worry. We'll get to it all. Next time I believe we're talking about The Finest Hour and Under Surveillance? Gale action movie?
Double Vision and
Double Vision
yeah.
and Under Surveillance. Just kidding.
Gale did a lot of action movies, so they get confusing.
And they're all kind of the same movie. So,
yeah, different fonts. It's weird.
Yeah, but that'll be next time, and hopefully we'll see you then.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Craig.
Thanks, Craig.
Goodbye, Craig.